we should be live. So I have my ways of sorting out if we're live. So today we're going to focus on a book. Okay. Today we're going to focus on a book that I found called On Mental Toughness. On Mental Toughness. Okay. So it's got a bunch of authors actually. So come back from every setback a stronger and better leader. If you read nothing else, okay, so beep beep. It's what I don't. I have funny ideas about Harvard. So it's the one thing that Harvard says that you should read. Okay, now I can see the chat. Right on. Okay. Hi, Erica. I don't know you, but hi. So we're talking about mental toughness today. So I picked up this book, and it's just okay. So beep beep about Harvard. I just don't. Harvard is Harvard. We can get into a different video if you want about that. But so if you read nothing else on mental toughness, read these 10 articles by experts in the field. We've combed through hundreds of articles in the Harvard Business Review archive and selected the most important ones to help you build your emotional strength and resilience. Resilience is very important, and to achieve high performance. This book will inspire you to thrive on pressure. Thrive on pressure like an Olympic athlete. I just want to tell you guys, I don't think anyone should thrive on pressure like an Olympic athlete, except an Olympic athlete that really wants to do it just for themselves. That's kind of nuts. I haven't read this part yet. Manage and overcome negative emotions by acknowledging them. That's important. Plan short-term goals to achieve long-term aspirations. I'm in that. Surround yourself with the people who will push you the hardest. Depends on, that's a little bit funny for me. Use challenges to become a better leader. Yes, to be a better person, Use creativity to move past trauma, 100%. Understand the tools that your mind uses to recover from setbacks. I'm in. So, we're going to start, so it's a whole book. Obviously, it's a whole book. I'm not going to quite recommend it at this point, but so the bottom line is, so it's 10. I didn't realize it was 10. So like here. So what I do when my first glance at books that I'm going to bring to you guys, I do dog ears. I do pens and notes. So let's see where the first one is. There was something quite cool. So basically what it's like, okay, so Margolis and Stoltz, they're one of the 10, okay? And then Crumb and Crumb. I'm not joking, guys. Wait, hold on. Okay, that's fine. They're married. Alia Crumb and Thomas Crumb. I was like, couldn't you guys just say the Crumbs? It's kind of redundant. Stress can be a good thing if you know how to use it. Lower and Shorts. Gilkey and Kilts. Seligman. Bennis and Thomas. You get it. So, building resilience. But I want to see what I outlined over here. Wait a minute. What was that? Oh, wow. Okay, I'm just going to... This is the kind of book, too, because it's broken up into different sections by different people that you can kind of jump in. So it's funny how our eyes work. Most people know, if you grew up in the U.S., roses are red, violets are blue, that whole thing. So I saw roses are, and I was like, wait, what's he trying to do over here? Because there's exercises and stuff as well. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Bean. Da-da-da. Some of it's relevant, some of it's not. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to get into that part. Roses are rubbish, violets are bluish. In case you didn't know, I am Jewish. That's I guess the context is important. I have no idea, but it had something to do with a woman, and they said something rude about Jewish people in a business setting. And so I guess she wrote them a poem. And she said, roses are red, violets are bluish. In case you didn't know, I am just. Okay. So, hot topic right now that I don't want to touch. Come here. Building resilience. So, this is Seligman. That sounds very familiar to me, by the way, Seligman. So, surprise, surprise. University of Pennsylvania. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Maybe I just... Okay, let me get to the parts where I really got into it. Okay, where my pen is everywhere. This part I thought was very interesting, and I want to know what you guys think, and I want to know the science and everything behind it. Because I feel like if there was one exercise to keep us healthy and perfect, not perfect, but I don't like that word, to keep us as much in balance, something that we can be doing every day would be cardiovascular, like walking or jogging or running, right? This person, but remember, this is Lower and Short's opinion. Lower, Loehr, and Schwartz. I think we all know Schwartz. Okay. Do you guys remember FAO Schwartz? Just saying. Okay. Do at least 2 weight training workouts a week. No form of exercise more powerfully turns back the markers of age than weight training. It increases strength, retards osteoporosis, speeds up metabolism, enhances mobility, improves posture, and dramatically increases energy. Super chat anytime. They're always appreciated. Didn't say that in the book. So this person has like a firm foundation. I like this. Here are our basic strategies for renewing energy at the physical level. Some of them are so familiar, they've become background noise. This is something that I agree with. They've become background noise, easy to ignore. That's why we are repeating them. If any of these strategies aren't part of your life now, their absence may help account for fatigue, irritability, lack of emotional resilience, difficulty concentrating, and even a flagging sense of purpose. Number 1, actually do all those healthy things you know you ought to do. Eat 5 or 6 small meals a day. People who eat just 1 or 2 meals a day with long periods in between force their bodies into a conservation mode. This is something for sure. I know a couple of you guys know that I struggled and dealt with eating disorder stuff. This is 100% very important. I remember when I went through eating disorder program, I had a sponsor, and she was like, Ashley, eating during the day is your insurance for the day. Like eating in the beginning of the day is your insurance. Like you won't be moody, you won't be super hungry, you won't, So that's a thing for sure. And also the brain needs food. Like there is a thing about just nibbling, not like having, huge meals all the time. Okay, always eat breakfast. So this is a thing I go back and forth with because I don't know why I'm deferring to my mom literally right now, but she's like, she found this book. My mom struggled with anorexia, arguably until the end, but she would say, this book came out in the 90s or the early 2000s. She's like, Ashley, this book, it's it tells about how the 3 meals a day, it's just a racket and your body will tell you when you're hungry. Okay, Mom, by then even, I have learned that your stomach shrinks. So your stomach actually won't tell you that you're hungry because it'll be little and a lot of other things. So, and then you get to a point where, and I've gotten to this point many years ago, where you lose so much weight and your stomach gets so little that a piece of cucumber, you're like, whoa, dude. That, it feels like a lot. So, to each his own, but it's hard for me to eat in the morning. It just is. I kind of am, I like coffee in the morning, I like juice, but I don't really want to have foods until later, kind of. Okay, Go to bed early and wake up early. I think that this is definitely a thing. Night owls have a much more difficult time dealing with the demands of today's business world. And obviously, I'm not in this for the business part of it. I've owned businesses and stuff like this. Maybe I should have read these then. But this is more about just taking care of ourselves, right? Because typically they still have to get up early, up with the early birds. Okay, so night owls have a much more difficult time dealing with demands of da-da-da because they have to get up typically when the early birds do. They often are groggy and unfocused in the mornings, dependent on caffeine and sugary snacks. So I feel like there's a lot of assumptions in this person's stuff. It's like, okay, so if somebody's going to stay up late, they're automatically going to have coffee and sugar in the morning. That's not everybody's story. Maintain consistent bedtime and wake up time. I think there's something called the circadian rhythm. I know that there's something called the circadian rhythm. I think and feel it's important that we are on that. Circadian rhythm is like basically our bodies should be sleeping when it's dark and awake when it's light. Seek recovery every 90 to 120 minutes. I wish people had the luxury, like any low income wage person has the luxury of every 90 minutes. So that's 30, shut up with my math, 30, 60, 90. So it's every hour and a half to 120 minutes. So it's every like what, hour and a half to 3 hours to have a rest, recovery. I think that makes a lot of sense. Chronobiologists, I haven't even heard of that one yet. Chronobiologists have found that the body's hormone glucose and blood pressure levels drop every 90 minutes or so. By failing to seek recovery and overriding the body's natural stress rest cycles, overall capacity is compromised. As we've learned from athletes, even short focused breaks can promote significant recovery. We suggest 5 sources of restoration. Eat something, hydrate, move physically, change channels mentally, change channels emotionally. There's nothing I disagree with there. Do at least 2, I told you about the weight training. So we'll figure out about that, right? I was like, wait, where's my weight? It was right here. I got my 8-pound weight. I'm like, this is a good one, girls. All the ladies in the house. Hey, ladies, get funky. Do you guys remember Beastie Boys? Now I feel like I have to finish a 10. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Josh Pittman, funeral director. Would you try third input with a man who's 21? I don't know what that is. Third input. Hi, Cynthia. I love you. Who is Harry Crumb was a great movie. I feel like that sounds familiar. But the guy's name is not Harry. It could have been Harry, actually. The Crumbs, as in Mr. and Mrs. Crumb. Do you have a firm super chat for me, funeral director? That would be so sexy. Realize Earth is flat and only your imaginations have been what? Been to space. Okay, the whole Earth is flat thing to me. Okay, here's one thing. Every single pilot in the whole world, every single commercial airline pilot, every single private jet pilot would all have, that's like, I can't even, 100,000 million pilots would have to agree, we're just gonna pretend it's round. Like, that doesn't make sense, guys. That's like the first thing. Because, like, seriously, if you walk, I don't know how that would go, but, you know, whatever. Um, how would all the pilots all over the world keep that secret? That's like one thing. Um, I'm open to new information. I'm open to things that, obviously, I think, you know, like I've created a channel based on sonar. Sonar being like human ways of communicating on the DL. I don't know when the last time I said DL was, but it sounded kind of cute coming out of my mouth. On the down low. So this channel is about that, but I just don't think the flat earth thing makes sense, guys. I haven't looked into it extensively, but first of all, there's like rotations, there's like I mean, like, things are happening, guys. Like, if the earth is flat, then what about the other planets? And again, okay, I could get down with and believe me, I've been affiliated with astronauts. I know a lot of them, actually, oddly. Um, doesn't matter why. Um, so test pilots, private pilots. Um, okay, I could get down with this theory. And I know astronauts as well. Um, Literally, fucking Buzz Aldrin was our neighbor growing up. Buzz Aldrin was the first guy to walk on the moon, if we walked on the moon, or one of the guys, and he dated one of my mom's best friends. There was a joke that they used to always ask him, Buzz, what's the first thing that you did when you landed on the moon? And he would say he peed, but I guess you like pee in a suit. Cynthia knows this. She knows me before I'm born. So the astronauts I know and the test astronauts I know are from Virgin Galactic and shit like that. I could see that being something they keep secret, but I cannot see, or I've thought about it, every pilot, commercial, private, and otherwise, not astronauts, the pilots, that they are just, because like it's kind of a computer run thing, right? So maybe all the planes are showing them that it's a circle. Okay, I'm playing like both sides here. And even, so every commercial and private pilot doesn't know either. So it's got to be one or the other, and neither makes sense. So I feel like the Earth's got to be round. Plus the equator, how do you explain that? Like how things are warmer towards the middle, and you know what I'm saying? Look, I am not a scientist, and I am not an astronaut, and I am not a pilot, but I'm very ignorant to I'm ignorant to a lot, meaning lacking knowledge, when it comes to these things, but I don't understand the whole flat earth movement. Like, I saw like one video maybe in 2020 or something, when like I felt like everyone was going down rabbit holes. We were like locked inside, and thank God I had an insight to be locked in, and the luxury to look at things. But there was, and it really is a luxury. Don't forget it. To have a house, to have a TV or anything to look at anything on. But there was like this video. It was like, don't you guys get it? Like the Earth's flat. Like, and I'm not meaning to use that voice, but just a voice that comes out sometimes. Okay, like, I can see how you could think that. The argument was not bad. But again, 100,000 million pilots all over the planet, private and commercial, don't know, or they're all holding the same secret. I just don't see that being plausible, or even, I mean, 3 people can't hold a fucking secret. What are you talking about? Especially when it comes to like money and stuff. Pilots are on video. Oh, really? See, I am ignorant, so I am interested. Pilots are on video admitting it's flat. Can you send me a link or put a link here? Or put it in the comment? Flights are west and east because the magnetic... I won't lie. Like, sometimes when you're looking on when you're on a flight and you're looking on the, like, where am I in relevance to where I'm going, it's like these dots that go around, and it's like, okay, the world is round. Yeah, I mean, Howard, I mean, Charles, I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? Flights only make sense on flat with, well, I dated a pilot a long time ago. Like, it's mostly computers. Like, they don't actually, it's not like they're driving a car through the terrain. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, your favorite bully? I'm a scientist, an astronaut, and a pilot. You're a scientist and an astronaut and a pilot? Youngjoy style? Even Buzz Aldrin admits they didn't go to the moon. Well, he didn't admit it to my mom and the woman that he dated in Georgetown in the 80s. He said that the first thing he did when he landed on space was pee. So, some know, some don't. Simple. It's on video. Can you send it to me? Best channels are John Thor. Okay, tell me what you love. Back. Flat Earth Warriors. Thank you. Oh yeah, dude, I know about NASA. I also know about, well, here's another thing that I can say. I didn't sign an NDA or anything. So, Virgin Galactic was headed by Richard Branson. The first astronaut went down. So, okay, this is my question then. Where are the astronauts going? Where are these spaceships going? Because I know that, I think he made another one since, but the first one, like, failed. One test pilot made it. He was in a hospital in Charlottesville, or Charlotte, and Richard flew there. Richard Branson flew there. So where are those planes going? I mean, those rockets going? And obviously, Richard owns airlines and stuff. So, like, if you owned an airline, would you know if the Earth was flat? That's a good question to ask. Because I know people that own airlines. I'm pretty sure they would tell me. I only know one person. I don't talk to him very often, but I'm sure if I called and I asked, he would answer. Maybe he wouldn't. You guys, also I have this question. May I raise my hand? I'm raising my hand in class. Thank you for calling on me. What is this whole... Okay, if it's so obvious that it's round, or it's so obvious that it's flat, why is there a conversation? Back to mental toughness. Choose to go forward. So I dog-eared this part. Choose to go forward. Whether the earth is round or flat. Accepting adversity and moving on isn't easy and it can take time. You don't have to like or somehow justify what's happened. You just have to decide that you can live with it. Pretty early on, I decided the man... Oh, I'm not going to spoiler alert it. The man is amazing. This one. Manchurian. Here. This dude, you read this whole book and you're like questioning him, or no, his part, and you're like questioning his shit. And then it's like, he's been in a wheelchair and he's talking about adversity. I will pay attention to you, sir. Manchurian. Okay. Manchurian resilience. Okay. Wait for it. So I'm reading this book. I'm like, whatever. Pretty early on, I decided that I could live without the use of my legs. Anyone's complaining out there, which was just as well because I couldn't change the past. Better to focus on things over which I did have some control. For example, how would I move on and live a full life? Everyone I know who has been through a major crisis can remember the exact moment that he or she chose to accept Acceptance is a huge thing too. Accept what had happened and go forward. People remember where they were what they were wearing. This is so true. Whom they were with, and what the weather was like. Every detail. I was in pajamas. For me, the defining moment came after those first few terribly bleak weeks in the hospital. I was lying in my bed, looking out the window, and I told myself I still had a lot to offer. So lots of people would just be like, fuck this, right? So that's the difference that I want to point out. I'm not going to read this whole book to you, but when I saw that part, he's like, I'm in a wheelchair. I was like, I'm listening. And then there was one very interesting, wisdom for adversity. This is still Manjurian. A traumatic event forces you to rethink your life and your beliefs. Since my injury, I've spoken with numerous people who have gone through crises, and certain themes have repeatedly come up. That was interesting to me. Certain themes have repeatedly come up. Some are truisms that we've known since childhood, but they don't really take root until you face a serious challenge to your identity. Below, I've summarized a few of the lessons I've learned. This dude's cool. You can't know what will happen tomorrow, and it's better that way. If we knew all the good and the bad things in store for us, we would probably focus on preventing the bad. It's far more rewarding to engage in the present. You cannot control what happens. How did those balloons come? You cannot control what happens. What happens? Just how you respond. Successful people are accustomed to being in control. Balloons, I love them. Whoever's doing that, I love it. I love it. It's so cute. I don't even know how you're doing that. The only way to influence the outcome is by focusing on the things that you have the power to control. The choices you make in response to life's events. The choices you make in response to life's events. I feel like we're at a balloon party where we're reading about mental toughness, and it's making me really happy. Number 3, adversity distorts reality but crystallizes the truth. It enforces your fears but also puts an emphasis on what matters right now. Adversity also sheds light on your beliefs. It shows you what is important to you, who your friends are, which is data you cannot get. Data you cannot get without going through adversity. When you see who your friends are, who shows up for you and who does not, that is data you couldn't pay for. The only way to influence the outcome, it shows you what is important to you, who your friends are and who your friends are not, what you are capable of, and what your true goals and ambitions are. 3, the real 3. Loss amplifies the value of what remains. Loss amplifies the value of what remains. It pushes you and may force you to take stock in what you have, allowing you to liberate yourself from petty or irrelevant matters and celebrate your assets. 4, it's easier to create new dreams than to cling on to broken ones. For all y'all in the back, it's easier to create new dreams than to cling on to broken ones. Adversity alters relationships and may even ruin them. It destroys some dreams and renders others unlikely. Certain things will be irrevocably lost, and pretending otherwise is foolish. But adversity also provides an opportunity to house clean, to pack old dreams away and make room for the new ones. Final, number 5. Your happiness is more important than righting injustices. I will have to read this 100,000 times. Your happiness is more important than writing injustices. Your happiness is more important than writing injustices. Your happiness is more important than writing injustices. My peace and my happiness is more important than writing injustices. Because only God does that. Anger is a normal response to a traumatic event, but attempting to assign blame or seek justice is draining and usually futile. Tell me about it. It's more fruitful to release the anger and move forward with your life. Alright, y'all. I'm out. What did you guys decide about the Earth? Okay. Size of the Earth. Okay. Number one Josh Denny fan. Did you see there's a new red bar? If you do the rock and roll hand sign, you get lasers. I love you, Josh Denny. Hold on, let me see. That's Angel Gang Gang. I can't see the lasers though. It's Angel Gang Gang. Celebrate your assets. Red bar. Yeah, red bar is an asset for sure. I love Michael. I love Jules. The end of the. Did something happen? I have to see. They were live yesterday. I have to see, but a bunch of red bar people messaged me today. Yeah, it's good. Okay, I'm gonna go check it out. All right, guys, and you guys should subscribe to. Wait, who knows sign language? You should subscribe to redbarradio.net. It's only $11 a month. Josh, are you talking to me? Josh, you know what happened yesterday. I was like, you know, like when you get like, I was overextended and overwhelmed. And you know how like sometimes you're trying to be like polite, but you're like talking through your teeth? Wait, are you talking to me, Josh? I'm wild? Whatever. I'm actually, yeah, maybe I am wild. One time my sister said to me, like, have you ever, she said that, like, I don't remember the beginning part. She's like, you walk into a room and it's like, just put that thing in a cage. Talking about me. I was like, you're like a lion, a wild lion, like put that thing in a cage. I'm like, animals shouldn't be in cages. And I'm not like, I guess I can be wild. All right, y'all. I love you, Josh Pittman. Bye, funeral director. Touche. I don't even know how to respond.